Hello everyone and welcome to Nexus Chatter. Today we're here with David Young, also known as Roflcopter, who's currently a free agent in the professional hero scene. So we're going to dive right into it. David, who are you? What role do you play in Heroes of the Storm? And what's your competitive background?
Hey, I'm Roflcopter. Played Range Assassin and formerly on Team Blaze, now a free agent, and I've been in the scene for almost a year now.
So, as you just said, formerly a Team Blaze, Los Angeles Spring Regional just passed, and on the line was the supposed title of NA's top two and a trip to South Korea. Team Blaze competed. Unfortunately, you guys fell short to the kind of 5th or 6th place bracket, if I'm right. And shortly after that event passed, we see the usual shifting of rosters, and you and Battery are released from Blaze.
Yep.
So what kind of went on with that? It doesn't seem to be too hostile from my personal perception, but, it is a big deal. You guys are long-standing players with that team. It's a big shift.
Going into the tournament, we didn't really expect much because we didn't have our full roster. Jason was unfortunately sick and couldn't make it. Can't really fault him too much for that. I mean, it would have been nice for him to be there because I think if we had him there, we could have definitely put a better showing. Especially that last C9 game was really close.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know. We could have beat C9 maybe and advanced out of group stages through that and got 4th or even better because we would have been playing Typical Storm. But anyways, after Panic Global broke, the dam released basically, and all these, because Panic Global has like really good mechanical players.
Yeah.
You just, I don't fault them too much, and you just can't pass up that opportunity, I guess. We had been kind of getting on Battery a little bit, so him being released wasn't, for me personally, I don't know about Battery himself. I love the dude. He's a great friend. Wasn't too shocking, I guess. Personally, I wasn't really ready for it. I mean, I kind of basically I knew what was about to go down, and then I was just like, I'm going to quit. I basically quit before I got fired is what happened.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So Battery was released first then? Or at least, behind the scenes, he went first, and then he kind of got the gist and was like, maybe I should go too?
Yeah. I mean, basically, they had been trying to get B-Kid for a while, and it was kind of hush-hush, but that's what was going on. And Battery was never a tank player to begin with. We actually taught him how to play tank, and he's a good player, but certain qualities, I guess, just weren't up to the standards that they wanted.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So was it more so an issue of personal performance, or was it like a collective synergy issue, or aspects of all that?
A little bit of everything, really. I mean, nothing really stood out, but it was just little things. This, how they build up over time. And I'm sure the same thing for me. There was never a time where we just straight up lost a game because we just played really bad at the LAN or anything like that. I think they just saw that we weren't doing as well as we could have been compared to other players, I guess, and they just thought that they have a better shot winning with those players than us.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Seems like, I guess, pretty standard stuff in terms of roster swaps. We see it happen after every big event.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, not trying to stir up any controversy or anything like that, obviously, but are you still in good standing with everyone to some extent, or?
I mean, after, okay, I still like everyone on that team. After I first was released, I was a little upset about it. I mean,
understandably so, yeah.
But, yeah, I actually got some pictures from Patrick, our manager, the other day from the tournament, and I guess he liked the picture and he showed it to me. And, yeah, but I still like them as players. I still consider them friends to some extent. I don't know exactly where we would be good friends,
Right, where you actually stand, but
they're good people, and I think their new roster is pretty solid, so they should do pretty well.
Okay, cool. I mean, that's definitely good to hear. It's better to hear that than things are super super sour or anything like that. Cause,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm not butthurt about it.
yeah, so stuff like that just gets unfortunate. It's like everyone's salty for one reason or another.
I can't go to the next lane and see them and be mad.
Yeah, exactly. Worst case, it just kind of seems like business as usual, you know?
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate it kind of went down how it did.
Yeah, because we had that history of being like the longest running roster, and we built up the, like, we had been working on the basically same roster since like August.
Yeah. You guys pretty long standing at this point, at least in terms of heroes and like how people get swapped around so much.
Mm-hmm.
Teams come and go so quickly. It's crazy that you guys had that long of a run stably.
Oh, yeah, I think this is definitely a time period where teams will be transitioning into more like solid rosters and stuff like that here soon, because where the tournaments are only like 3 months apart or however long, like it's going to be really tough to build up a whole new team in that short amount of time. I mean, it can be done, but you saw us go from amateur to pro, and that took, seems like forever now that I think about it.
Yeah. Definitely very difficult to stabilize these days, but I think we're going to see it more and more now that there's just more competition in front of everyone. So, moving past the issue of, the roster swap itself, you're a free agent now, future's ahead of you. What are you looking to do in terms of HOTS? Do you want to find another team and continue playing competitively? Are you looking to maybe become more of a streamer, entertainer, a caster, or even none of the above?
Yeah. I've thought about all the possibilities, and I've gotten like a lot of offers to join different teams, and I've even played with a few different teams, and nothing ever really stood out to me so far. So I think I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm not, retiring. I'd say it's more like an extended break.
Right.
Just because I've been playing the game like 4 hours a day, every day, even more than that for the past year, and I'm just a little burnt out. So I actually, like, right after I stopped having the scrim, I like just didn't play the game for a week. I was just, not because I didn't like the game. It's just I'm just burnt out.
Understandable, yeah. Not to mention, like, internally, the state of affairs for the game.
Yeah.
Not wonderful right now. Like, great game, but not exactly stellar. So I could totally see it being a little bit of a, at least with that type of practice regimen, a little bit of a burden to keep up with it.
Yeah. Like, you're supposed to, like, I was really skimming by. Like, I think that's another reason why I was probably released, is because I wasn't playing the game outside of scrims, just because I have so much on my plate with, I also have a part-time job and go to school full-time. So it was a lot, and it was a lot to handle. So basically from here on out, I'm going to focus on Heroes of Dorm for now and see what the state of the scene is. And focus on school, of course, because,
Right.
I need to work on that.
Got half a semester left, got to kill it.
Yeah, like, especially with the whole pro thing, it was really hurting me.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's a little difficult to juggle.
Yeah.
We see players do it, but that's got to be rough.
Yeah, it's not fun. At the LAN, I had, like, 3 different homeworks, too. It was... everyone else was, like, drinking. I'm like, I got to go to my room.
Yeah, I got to actually do things.
Yeah.
That's rough, dude.
Yeah.
But in terms of Heroes of the Dorm, what school do you go to? Who are you competing under?
Yeah, I go to University of Tennessee, Knoxville.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Team name is We Ballin'.
We Ballin', that's sick. Exciting. I'll be on the lookout for that. I haven't really kept up with what's going on with this year's Heroes of the Dorm. I ended up playing last year with just a couple of friends.
Mm-hmm.
What is the actual dates on it right now? Have group stages started yet, or?
Yeah, so the round of 64, I think this Sunday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so tune in for We Ballin'.
I will. I'll be on the watch.
I don't know if we're going to be cast or not, but, we might be, so.
What do you think your odds of making it past 64 are?
Oh, pretty, like, we're actually, like, we're pretty good players overall. Everyone's really good. We're not stacked like UTA or ASU with, like, actual pro players, but these
right.
These guys are solid players, and they listen to what I have to say, and they really want to learn, and that's the most important thing. Is just having that drive to, like, grind out and don't get frustrated and tilted, and just have an open mind to learning. Really is the main thing.
Right. Are you the only seasoned player on the team? Or are you kind of taking the position of like shot calling and leading, or
Yeah. For the most part, when it comes down to like actual big things, I have to do that.
right?
But there's two other players. There's another guy that's actually on an amateur team right now.
Hmm.
So he has a good idea of what to do, when to do it, and stuff like that. And then I have another guy that's a Hero League veteran. So he's been through the worst of it.
yeah, he survived that brutal freaking grind. He's seen some shit.
Yeah, he's like, man, Arthas, man.
Arthas, fuck. Jesus Christ. He's seen some shit. Oh, well, that's good to hear, though. It's exciting to see you at least keep it up with something competitive, post.
Yeah, I couldn't live with myself if I didn't do something competitive. It's once you start, you don't want to stop. Like, Hero League doesn't satisfy you as much as a LAN, with actual money on the line and stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
you just spend hours just thinking about every possibility that could happen when you're at a LAN. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Especially we've seen a couple of like decent chunks of change on the line for heroes thus far.
Yeah.
So
money really motivates people.
Yeah, I'd imagine. How did payouts go down for you on Blaze? Did you end up seeing most and any prize money before splitting?
Yeah, so I don't.
If you're able to talk about this, of course. I know there's contractual stuff here and there.
Really a contract, so I mean, I don't know if I'm obligated, but like Team Blaze, unlike other sponsors, I'll leave it kind of vague. Unlike other sponsors, actually gives you a substantial portion of your winnings. Let's say some teams I think are like 70-30 or like 80. I don't know, 70-30. Like it's better than that. So you're making almost all of your winnings. Thing is, though, is you're not getting monthly payments, so you gotta win.
Right. So it's all about actually winning the prize money.
Yeah.
Not a big blanket behind it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, so want to move forward a little bit and kind of branch out on what we've been talking about in terms of like outside of, all the recent Blaze-related occurrences.
Yeah.
In terms of actual game state, how do you feel about the current meta competitively? And how do you kind of feel that you acclimate to different metas as a player?
Okay.
Do you find it easy when things shift?
Most of the time, yeah. Just because I actually, I don't know if it's just a range assassin thing, but most range assassins have a pretty large hero pool, so it's like, if one hero gets nerfed, then I'll just have to learn another hero. And they're usually not that hard to pick up, so range assassin-wise, it's not that hard to acclimate to a different type of style or whatever. But the state overall, I like it a lot. I think the worst part for me personally as a range assassin was that about a few months ago, that stun meta where you just once and then you just got blown up. That was annoying. Really helped on your positioning. Like your positioning got really good.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
But right now, I think it's a really good spot. It's hard to say now because I haven't really played any competitive games, but I've seen like a gravitation towards Tassadar because Tassadar's one of those guys where he works well with any support and he enables so many different other heroes like Illidan and melee assassin really popular right now. But you don't know how that's going to really work out because Zol's that like ultimate anti-melee assassin.
Very true.
So right now it's kind of up in the air, but like Li Ming, Zol, and Rhaegar are super high priority. So be expecting a lot of those for ETS this weekend.
Are we gonna see them in like first pick, first ban spots or?
Oh yeah, like I don't even know, man. Like I've been trying to draft for Here's the Dorm, so it's a little bit different because sometimes the teams don't know like what's going on.
Right.
So you get away with so much free stuff. But like,
is it still for at least like the rounds of whatever it was, like rounds of 8 before the 64? Is it still just like open, just select whatever you want and play?
Oh, I mean, there was a banning phase.
Oh, okay. They didn't have that last year, and that was absurd.
Yeah, it was like last year, and that's when Illidan was like OP. So it was like,
Yeah, dude, it was just build God Conf and go. It was
first
insane.
pick Illidan win game. Whoever
It
gets
was
first pick wins.
literally freaking awful. It was insane.
Yeah. But yeah, I played games where like no one bans any of those three OP heroes, and then I've seen games where they both get banned and someone gets Zol, and it's like, how do I deal with this insane push and laning and phasing, and I don't know. It's
Yeah.
insane. It's going to be like, you know how it was with Land. It's probably going to be not completely different, but like Thrall. You know how like everyone was prioritizing Thrall really hard.
Yeah.
You don't even see Thrall that much. This
Oh, wow.
Thrall's is so good against him.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean you'll still see him a little bit, but Zol's like
Right.
Oh,
Zul's the man right now.
you know that attack speed. Just get rid of that. You're not
Yep.
have that anymore.
Zul's freaking crazy. I think he's holding it like overall 60% win rate right now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
that's a lot of winning.
Yeah,
And also, he didn't see nerfs in terms of this recent patch. I'm not sure if it's live yet, but the one they announced notes for yesterday.
yeah. Well, it's the same thing that they did with Li Ming. They want to gather more data before they
Jump the gun on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
'cause they don't want to overreact, because maybe you nerfed one thing and that was like it wasn't as valued as much as you thought or something like that, and it ends up being
Yeah.
the keystone to his entire kit.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Also, historically, prior to Li Ming, they had a rough block of underpowered releases.
Yeah, and
Comparatively.
honestly, I like this more because
Yeah.
I actually have the goal to buy these heroes when they first come out, so I actually get to have fun for a week and a half killing noobs.
Yeah, you just get to stomp the Hero League for a week. HOTS has been a live client for roughly 2 years now, accounting for alpha.
Yeah.
And developers continue to work on fundamental like matchmaking issues, as well as like new vanity options, skins, additional heroes, stuff like that is all coming into the game and seeing change in the game consistently. But in client, we're still lacking a completely functioning ladder. We're lacking pick ban. We're lacking a rank system that validates high skill players.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of, at least in terms of pros, have spoken out to say as far as like playing Hero League at all, they tend to stay away from it. They don't want to drop their rank 1 if they got it, and they feel it doesn't hold much validity. How do you feel about all this? I know we touched on it a little earlier, a tiny bit, but I want to hear your thoughts.
So rank 1 means literally nothing in the pro scene. Like, I've seen rank 1, because it's the top 2% of players, right?
Supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly, but it doesn't feel like it. Like, there's a big difference. I can't remember the exact MMR on HOTS logs, but I think it's like, is it 2.8k, I think?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Is like the very bottom tier of rank 1, and then you have people that are like, you know, my former teammate just hit 4.5k MMR, Clady.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
It's wild.
Yeah, like, there's a huge skill discrepancy in rank 1, and people don't realize that. It's like there's, if you really want to break it down, I feel like this is how you'd break it, is like rank 2 to whatever, 50, I think is the top, and then they're like all about the same, and then like, okay, maybe that's an exaggeration.
Not by much. Not by a huge margin.
And then there's like the other bracket of like the difference between like the top 2% and then like the 0.01%.
Right. Yeah, that honestly, in a fucked up way, that's kind of accurate. Or at least close enough to.
I mean, I was exaggerating the 2 to 50, you know?
Yeah. But in general, the message does stand. Yeah. It's definitely, the general public perception seems to be that it's a standing problem.
Mm-hmm.
And we've kind of seen like Dustin Browder and other kind of figures from the development end say, hey, change is coming. Yeah. But we are a little bit late in terms of that. Like, are we going to see the formal Season 1 release by June, if at all? There's a lot up in the air right now. And unfortunately, it kind of seems like we see players leaving, or at least being reluctant to actually play the game outside of a competitive setting.
Yeah. It's. I mean, if you think about it, like when they first announced they were going to start doing those Hero League changes, I remember I played the night before they did the first change, and I got into a game where I had a teammate that had 500 MMR.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I'm
That's
sitting over here with 4K, like 4.1K, something like that. So you can imagine how infuriating that was to play that game. I mean, obviously, it was really hard because the other team had players that were like 2 to 3K, right? And they know how to punish
Yeah.
someone that doesn't even know like skill shot.
where they are.
Like what do skills do?
Yeah.
So it's getting better gradually, and honestly, I just started playing Hero League again, and I enjoyed it so much. I mean, it's still frustrating because you still have people that are unorganized running around with their heads chopped off, but it's not as bad as it used to.
Right.
Put it like that. And from what I've heard, around the grapevine, stuff like that, is if you notice, Blizzard likes to do things in chunks, kind of, with like Battlefield Eternity, Infernal Shrines, and then here with the Lean Mean Zol, like they like to announce things in packs. And I think the next big pack that's coming out is going to have just a whole slew of things. I guess it'll be after Tracer, because I guess Tracer's going to come out sometime in April, I think, or something like that.
Right.
So after Tracer comes out, be ready for the big announcement, basically.
Yeah, fingers crossed on that in terms of what that will mean for the game. Hopefully, at the very least, we'll just kind of get the fundamental changes that will whip this game into shape for what it needs to be.
I think that will probably come out with the like I don't know how this will all work out, but like Tychus rework, Gazlo
rework, yeah, I saw a little bit about that.
Everyone loves Gazlo. I'm just gonna go out there and put this on the record. I don't like Gazlo.
Don't like Gazlo. As a whole, mechanically,
I hate with him. I hate playing as him. I hate playing against him. He just sucks.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. He has like shifted around from being the absolute dumpster worst to just being like the king of the worst, but in general, absolutely awful.
Yeah,
I'm never happy to get a Gazlo in my games. Yeah. Like it doesn't bring me any
Honestly,
joy.
I think it's a tie between Tychus and Gazlo, between the worst heroes in the game.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Really tough. I don't know. I mean, Gazlo, you got that wombo, but Tychus, you can actually...
You can potentially lay out some damage with Tychus, but the issue is, like, is it effective damage? Is there kill potential, or are you just grinding numbers?
I mean, you don't even have an ult on Tychus, because people just walk away. They're like, oh...
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, he dropped the laser. There's Odin. Time to leave.
I'm out of here. See you.
Yep. And now, even beyond that, ever since they made, like, the Odin change, needed at the time, but, like, to where it's the same health bar.
Yeah.
It's like, especially he's so weak right now, it's like, oh, he popped Odin. Kill him.
It wouldn't even matter now. Yeah, it wouldn't even matter if they changed him. If they changed that. Yeah.
But in his current balance, it might even be better if it was just the same thing.
Tanky Tychus.
Yeah, survivability Tychus.
But yeah, I think that Tychus, the arena, you remember that? And like
yeah, from BlizzCon they were teasing that.
I imagine Grandmaster will probably be like all together as one giant thing that's going to come out and it's going to be amazing and the world will rejoice. Yeah.
I hope that kind of puts a bit of a resurgence in terms of like the ladder players, because left and right you see a lot of streamers who are just saying I need a break, I need time off, I'm not quitting, but I can't do this right now. I can't do what we have in front of us currently. Yeah, and I definitely think that's hurting the community some. I mean, think about who the big streamers are. Like, just 5-6 months ago it was Nick and ZPs, right? Yeah. What are they doing now? I think ZPs is doing Overwatch, but I think Nick's doing Overwatch right now too, or at least trying to like put his time. I think I just played a game against him in Team League, but I mean, he doesn't stream really like HOTS anymore, so yeah. I remember like getting HOTS Alpha, and he was like the streamer for the longest time. He was always on, always there, always somebody could fucking watch, doing 24-hour streams, stuff like that. You don't see him these days. It sucks. It's disappointing to see people go, but I mean, there's always, I guess, someone to take their place. Like Grubby, I guess, is pretty consistent, but I mean, I don't know where Chew8's been, honestly. I haven't seen him in a while either, actually. No. If I'm correct, Chew8 is another streamer who said, I need a break in terms of kind of like state of affairs issues. Yeah, I remember I remember one time I played a Hero League game with him, and I actually, now that I think about it, where he was so burnt out. That's kind of his day job, right? Like, I'm burnt out playing 4 hours. He has to play like 6-8 hours a day. If not more. Which is like pure, like,
I hate myself.
Yeah.
And I remember getting on him because I was like, dude, why are you trolling picking like Lily? I need the win.
Yeah.
Oh, they make
MMR.
more sense now. Yeah.
Yeah. It's that MMR bomb Chew 8.
Mm-hmm.
And also, do you have
team as me? It is, dude, because you have two 4K players on the same team. Your other three teammates are gonna be like 1K, so you have to really like carry hard, dude.
Jesus Christ, 1K. And it's so like difficult to like carry in this game comparatively to others.
Yeah.
Because there is no getting fed. There's no like solo advantage aside from like potential power spikes at certain talent tiers.
Yeah, it's all about positioning, really. Like,
Yeah.
carry, you have to like somehow get an insane flank on like their carries, and hopefully they don't collapse on you.
Yeah. Hopefully they're just like standard Hero League players who aren't looking for it.
I like Falstad for that a lot.
Yeah, he has to be really good to dump on.
Yeah,
Just
like Lee Ming, I was playing a game today against Lee Ming as Falstad. It was so easy. Just like land a Q on her and she's dead. It's auto attack.
yeah. She gets deleted.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's definitely sick.
Yeah.
So in terms of like all the heroes in the game right now, there seems to be a pretty like clear set of design philosophy by role in terms of what heroes of what role will do and how they function. Do you wish for any of them to function differently or function better in any particular way, or are you looking for more uniformity than what we have thus far?
Yeah.
How do you kind of feel about the roles as a whole?
Yeah, one thing that's really glaring, and it's supports. Obviously, like, they have to heal, right? Because they gave all these other supports so much healing power. And you can't have really a support that repositions heroes and stuff like that really too much without them offering a lot of healing. So I think they're kind of pigeonholed into like, the healing aspect of supports, and that really hurts the diversity of that class. That's one thing that's bothered. That just started bothering me recently because I just started playing League again. Because like I said, I was burnt out on heroes, and there's so much diversity in supports. You have tanky supports and then damage supports. You see, whatever.
They definitely fit a different role in that game.
Yeah.
It's not all heal bots.
That's one thing that I hope that they can try to work in without it being like overpowered somehow. Is just diversifying the support role. Like honestly, there's like 10 supports right now, right? But only 3 of them are actually decent.
Yeah.
It's really aggravating.
Well, also in terms of diversifying supports, do you kind of support the idea of redistributing CCs among the whole hero pool? Because that's something that you could say League has comparatively to HOTS, is that CC is much more in the hands of supports than in HOTS is kind of spread out everywhere. Everyone kind of has stuns, everyone has snares, and League has been a little more selective in terms of giving non-support heroes those types of abilities in their kits. Do you think HOTS would need to shift entirely to give supports that value?
It's something to consider because I don't know if you follow Dustin Browder on Twitter, but they've been gradually toning back stuns, right? And people are still, I don't know why, it's so much better than it used to be. I guess it could be better for like lower levels of play, but people are still complaining about stuns. There's just been this thing about diminishing returns, and they don't want to add that type of complexity in there, obviously, but I think something that they're going to look forward is to reduce the importance of stuns, probably take them off heroes entirely in some cases.
Progressively, yeah.
I think that might be coming around the corner here soon. Is like you said, redoing the whole CC thing is actually it sounds insane, right? Like it sounds crazy for them to do that, but it's actually there's a decent possibility of them doing that because the community has been complaining about it so much, and honestly, it's kind of true. CC is really important in this game.
Yeah, it's the entirety of what makes a fight win or loss, really. Yeah. It's built into every engage. It's built into lane trading. See, this game is CC the game.
Yeah.
But it's kind of crazy because, like, you look at HOTS in terms of development in the past 2 years, and for a long time, it seems like they've been kind of doing things the Blizzard way, which is like, we don't care how long it takes. We're going to do things our way, and it will be quality when it comes out. But now they seem to be shifting into more of a MOBA style development, thankfully, where they're trying to get things out faster and put things out in the client and make big changes kind of more liberally.
Yeah.
But this, although, as you said, it kind of like seems like a crazy idea. Let's redistribute all the CC in the game, change all these like kits that people have known for upwards of 2 years now. as crazy as it sounds, it might be integral to making the game really great.
Yeah, it's definitely a significant possibility. I wouldn't put it up there high. I imagine they'll probably they won't do all of it at once. That's how Blizzard used to be. They're kind of doing things in small changes, and I think they've gotten wiser about it. Because one thing, if you do changes heavy-handedly like that, it has so many repercussions that that domino throughout the entire scene, right? And like the hero pool and stuff like that. If you notice, like just that tiny small change on Stitches, they just barely buffed his damage, and for like a month, he was the premier tank.
Mm-hmm.
Like just small, tiny changes like that, and the meta shifts so fast. So big, heavy-handed changes like that are not good for the scene and not good for the community at all. So I expect if they're going to do that stun changes, like I said, it would be incrementally over time. Nothing huge all at once, I would expect.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that would make sense. I think it's something that's definitely on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Do I see Muradin losing his Q anytime soon? No, but we'll see how they approach it.
But they might reduce, because I think it's 1.5 right now.
Yeah, I think that's the number they're shooting for across the board. It's 1.5 second stuns.
Yeah, like change it to 1. Change it down, because Tyrannus went from 1 to 0.75, right? So something like that. They'll probably, if it's something that's like super important for their kit, they'll just tone it down. But if it's something ridiculous, like I can't even think of an example right now. That's just I'm like, why is it even in the game? They'll probably just get rid of it.
Old Tyrannus stun was kind of like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you get hit with their E, and it was just like, well, take my hands off the keyboard for a second.
Yeah,
it was a little much.
That's why you had Skull, man, so that you didn't, you could just, you get stunned, and so you can actually still have fun while you get stun locked.
Yeah.
But I mean, outside of her E, like, what does she do really? Like, she has a W vision, and then she has a small heal in her Q, and then her ult. Well, I mean, disregard her ult, but
minus that part.
Yeah. But I mean, you think about it like that. Like, if it's super important for the kid, I couldn't see them getting rid of it.
Yeah, of course. I'm not expecting that. I think there are certain heroes that at this point have such a defined kit and like stigma around what they are.
Yeah.
That they even changing one spell beyond like tweaks of stats would be too heavy-handed.
The KT rework's coming out soon, so maybe something like his E, like what is that E doing in there? Like, it's nice because you can kill someone 1v1, but I mean, it's annoying as hell to play against. It's not.
Oh yeah, especially when it's in power and it, like hits multiple targets. Everyone chops right up.
Yeah, they got let's say your team has like a really good engage on someone's caught out, and then KT gets a random 3-man stun on your chase, and the guy gets away. It's like, that's annoying. How's that fair? I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely a pain.
Like, because I don't really agree with it too much. I mean, I think the stuns are okay-ish. They could probably be a little bit better, tone them down a little bit, but I don't know about getting rid of them all.
I agree with
I know
that.
Talking about that, I saw it on Twitter, the thing about redoing the whole CC stuff.
Yeah. I'm not entirely against the idea of, like, looking at redistribution and how they can approach it, but, like, again, I don't want them to heavy-handedly just kind of redefine what every hero in the game is.
Yeah.
Because it's more so a matter of, like, you missed your window to make those tweaks. The game's a little too big for that right now.
And like I said again, that the whole like ripple effect, like what does that do? Like, you have an idea, but there's so many things that it could change.
Yeah, look at the scaling changes that happened a couple of months ago. That turned the game on its head.
That was rough, period.
Yeah.
That was a rough period.
that was a little absurd.
Because
it's crazy.
Like, Raider stun, that's another example of like, why does he have a stun? Why? Like, what is he doing in there?
What does he need that for?
But Rainer was like insane. He used to not be. He was like okay, and then after that scaling change, is like Rainer is
the man.
He's the best.
Yeah, he was
like
super
absurd. Priority, dude. That was insane.
He could grind so much damage. Yeah, dude. He's just cycled out. Right click Rainer's dead for the time being.
Oh, that was so much fun. I was actually a good Rainer player, because it doesn't take any skill.
Yep, it was all positioning and range. You just walk around with him, take your position, and you win.
Yep.
he was fucked up. Him and KT were just like the 13 monsters for such a long period.
Oh man, I don't like thinking about old KT. Get hit by one DQ.
Oh god, rest
He
in
just
peace.
won the game.
Yep. Launch KT is you won the game if you drafted him.
I repressed those memories, man.
Those are just like nightmarish. It's all coming back at once.
Yeah.
You know, the way people like get so caught up in like meta discussions, you can always look to shit like that and be like, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
It was worse.
The thing about meta, you know, how we were talking about meta earlier is you never know 100% for sure. You can have some inclination of what's going to happen, but man, come this weekend, like honestly, I can tell you the heroes are going to be prioritized, but I mean, maybe Artanis is going to be like some like somewhat decent high priority because his tank build just you can't kill him.
Yeah.
Like you never really know.
It's true. You never know what people are going to bring to the table too, especially at the highest level of play.
Yeah.
There's always potential for something to be busted.
It starts getting wonky. You know that C9 game on Sky Temple against us where they went no tank comp.
Ooh, yes.
And we played Artanis. Like
that was crazy.
What was that? That's like a quick match. Like
yeah, that was literally some quick match shit.
And that's what it evolved into because people were thinking 2 steps ahead or 3 steps ahead. You know, so you never once you start getting that far out, all hands off.
Yeah,
just you're in for the ride now. You know what?
Yep. Absolutely, some crazy shit.
Yeah,
very crazy. My last question for you is: any piece of advice for an up-and-coming player who's on the fence about going pro or getting involved in esports?
Yeah.
Like you said, you're a student, you've been doing it the hard way. Does that kind of change your opinion on diving headfirst into it at all?
Have a day job. I mean, that's the best advice. You know, don't go too crazy. You know, spend your nights on it. That's if you're an amateur, of course, you know, and that's where I came from. So I want to speak from that point of view. But it's really a grind. You just got to keep grinding. Don't ever get disappointed. I mean, I don't know if anyone followed Team Blaze last summer, but we didn't even go to the top 8 because we upset loss against the plays and we got knocked out because we didn't play to our top beta sub and we lost. I don't want to blame the sub. He was actually a great player, Quiet Rice. I think he's on THC, white or black or something like that. But
I think it's white.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we end up losing because we had bad shot calls on that boss. I don't know if people remember, but stuff's going to happen and nothing goes as planned. So be ready for anything and just keep grinding. You just got to keep going for it. If you really want it and you work hard enough, you'll get it.
Some motivational stuff for anyone who is interested in taking the dive. I also wanted to touch on this real quick. A couple years down the line, do you think we're going to see HOTS up there as a titan in the MOBA scene? Do you think we're going to see it as a place for players who do have that skill and have grinded and worked their way up to be making a real living off of it?
Yeah, I mean, I've doubted it. I've doubted it a few times. And it seems like Blizz really wants this game to take off. I've doubted Blizz's interest in it, and it seems like with this whole global circuit thing that they introduced, they really want this game to take off. Because that was the big thing is, you know, having to wait a year, it really sucked. So introducing this, like I said, and also, like I said before, introducing this every 3 or 4 months, having a circuit, adding some stability in the scene, right? So that's going to... I can only see it going up from here. You never know for sure. Like I said, maybe some new game will come out and it's just amazing, or maybe something happens to HOTS and it just gradually declines. You never really know for sure.
Right.
But I hope it does because I'm good at the game. but in all honesty, yeah, I can see it's definitely getting bigger at this point in time. There's an increase, and I'm excited, and I think people are getting excited. As you can tell, they introduced that new skin, that Asmodont skin, and people went insane. Like,
oh, yeah.
When's the last time someone went that insane over a League skin? I don't remember. It seemed like everything just blew up.
Yeah, probably Dunkmaster Darius was the last time.
Okay, yeah.
But like same thing, you know,
Yeah.
like it gets that community pop.
Yeah, and I don't know if Blizz does that much fan service. I mean, they kind of do a little bit, so...
This is like the first like fan service bomb that we've seen out of them.
Yeah. So hopefully they keep doing that, because even though it's going to be expensive as hell, it's going to be like a $20 skin, I can already tell.
Yeah.
Like, even though Asmodan is like maybe one of the worst heroes in the game, I'm like, probably going to buy that.
Maybe they'll buff
I'm
him.
probably going to buy that.
Yeah, just to have it.
Yeah, just to spam the B so I can dunk, you know.
Dude, it's so sick. I'm so excited for that to be the fucking
You know
live
what?
client.
I'm mad at Blizzard still, because I don't know if you have like the Pirate Falstad skin, but you used to be able to whistle at people, and they removed that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I never bought that skin because I blow at Falstead, but still, like that's so sick.
Oh man, Hawkfu knows. If Hawkfu's watching, remember the whistle. You taught me that.
Remember the whistle. I'll make sure that makes the cut. Remember the whistle. That's sick. All right. So, any parting words, shout-outs, announcements, words for fans and supporters? Floor's yours, dude.
Floor is mine. I guess this is a shout out to Chair League. I didn't get the show at all, but you know, this is their Chair League shirt. It's pretty sweet. I like it. And I have another one. I should probably dig it out, but I think he'll appreciate the shout out.
Yeah, I think so too. He's been watching. When I did his interview, he made a point in saying to me prior that he's been watching, so he'll see this hopefully.
All right, cool. But yeah, shout out. Those shirts are awesome. They're really comfortable, anyways. But that's regardless.
Yeah.
And also talking about Hero League. If you're having, you know, you're down in Hero League, your team league, and you're not having a good time, go get four of your other friends and go in the Chair League, because I've been watching it some, and they actually cast it. So if you ever want to have someone cast or play, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, Chair League's very sick.
Yeah.
Awesome thing for the game right now.
Yeah, and I think it helps a lot. Shout out to Michael Udall. Just a shout, you know.
General shout out, just get it in there.
What's up, man? See you in about a month. And to my fans, thanks guys. I really appreciate the support. I got so many messages after I left, quit, got kicked scenario.
Yeah.
They're just like, man, you're the best player on that team. Really sad to see you go. And I appreciate that. Like, I really, honestly, after I left, I was just like, I'm just calling it quits. I was so sad. But now, like, I don't know, people's words of, like, praise and stuff like that, it keeps me invigorated. Whatever you say to players, like, it means so much. Like, I thought I was terrible at the game. Just, like, a simple, like, good job and stuff like that. It means so much to me. So I appreciate that.
Definitely makes a difference, especially, like, comparatively. You know, HOTS is still a game that doesn't have the same fandom as like League or Dota, so showing attention to competitive players is a good thing. Stroke their egos, it's positive.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know I had like fans or anything. Like I had some people that talked to me occasionally, but I consider them more friends than fans. So
yeah,
but it was cool. Like, you know, people just give me all these shout outs and stuff on Reddit and Twitter. It's really exciting.
That's sick. That's great to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So we're going to wrap this up. This has been another installment of Nexus Chatter. For future interviews, patch breakdowns, general Heroes League content, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you to Roflcopter for being here. This was great. And until next time, it's been Flip a Coin.